and welcome back to Sloop, Providence, and Questions with Captain Sam. This is our first film since the new year, and so we have some fun New Year's questions. Really only one New Year's question, but we have several questions today. Our first question is going to be, what is the point of tall ships? They are clearly antiquated technology. Why do we even have them around? I personally believe pretty strongly in the mission of sail training and teaching people about tall ships as a means to build confidence and leadership skills and all sorts of other things through the medium of sail training. Most tall ships, I would venture to say, are nonprofits or run by nonprofits. There are some strictly commercial tall ships out there. The ones I'm familiar with here in the States are mostly run by nonprofits, and the idea is to get young people out on boats and teach them to sail. I worked for the Los Angeles Maritime Institute, or LAMI, which is a great organization, and they have two brigantines. They have the Irving Johnson and the Exie Johnson. They're twin brigantines. And we used to do 3-day trips with middle schoolers, and an amazing thing happens on the first day when you get out of sight of land. When you can no longer see land, these kids who are too cool for you and they know everything and they're just way smarter than everybody, suddenly don't have a frame of reference in which to behave. And once you take that frame of reference away from them, they're much more willing to buy into the process and learn the things you're trying to teach them. So I feel very strongly that tall ships are a way of conveying not just sail training skills, but life skills like scheduling, cooperation. You get up and do chores every day together and make sure that the boat is a healthy, happy place for everyone to be, as well as watchstanding and practical navigation skills and leadership and accountability. Like personal responsibility is a really big one that I like. It is the reality of things that when you're on a tall ship, you very literally trust your shipmates with your life. You have to be willing to trust them to drive the boat through the night. You have to be willing to trust them to not drop something on you from aloft. So it's a cooperative environment that you really can't get anywhere else. Our next question is, do you get seasick, Captain Sam? And the answer is, everyone gets seasick at some point. I personally have not been seasick yet. I definitely get what I call sea uncomfortable, where you don't feel super great, but you're not throwing up. I believe that everybody has like a condition, like a set of wave period wind ship motion condition that they will get seasick. It's just a matter of finding what's right for you. For me, I find that if the weather has been really rough and we've been, in some choppy water, and it settles down after the weather is getting better, when everyone else is starting to feel good again, you get this really gross, slow slide across really disgusting swells. And that, for me, is the point when I feel least awesome. So, everybody does it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. You just got to find out what's right for you. Our last question today is, are there any nautical New Year's traditions? And the answer is, of course there are. Sailors love to have traditions or superstitions or whatever issues you want to have. The most commonly recognized nautical New Year's tradition is probably the ball drop in Times Square. The ball drop has nautical origins. In 1829 in Portsmouth, the first ball drop was put up to mark noon for mariners in the surrounding port. Noon is important particularly, and time in general is important for finding longitude at sea. When you can't see the land, it's very hard to determine exactly where you are unless you know how long you've been at it. So in the mid-1800s, Harrison and a number of other people invented chronometers that were sturdy enough to go to sea, and so navigating becomes a lot easier at that point, but everybody has to be on the same page. All of the clocks need to be set to the right time. So in Portsmouth, there was a naval captain who decided to run a ball up a pole on a building that could be seen from the harbor. And every day at noon, or some accounts 1, he would drop the ball, and as soon as the ball started coming down that pole, the ships in the area knew that that was noon and they could set their time to it. In, 1839, a ball was erected in Greenwich at the observatory there, which is sort of the gold standard for what time it is. And a little bit after that, we developed we implemented it here in Washington, D.C., which you can probably not see behind me. Anyway, so the ball drop has morphed into less practical and more decorative tradition, because in the 1920s radio signals were developed to help you set your clock, so they became obsolete, but we still think it's cool looking, so we still do it on New Year's Eve. All right, folks, that wraps it up for me and our questions with Captain Sam for the first time in 2021. I bid you good day, and hopefully 2021 is better than 2020 was for everyone. We hope to see you soon, and thanks for watching.